I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden.
The announcement came as little surprise. The Republicans have been investigating Joe Biden for months, but it nonetheless kickstarts a formal process designed, no doubt, to up the ante in the run-up to the presidential election in 2024. At stake is whether the then Vice President Joe Biden used the power of his office to help his son, Hunter Biden, win lucrative contracts in countries like Ukraine. And by doing so, the Biden family themselves directly profited from those dealings. The Republicans claim they have evidence.
We know that bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to the Biden family members and associates through various shell companies.
The White House claims the allegations have all been disproved, hence the move by the Republican Speaker to launch a formal investigation to try and unearth something concrete. It was music to the ears of the extreme right of the party, some of whom had threatened to pull their support for a critical upcoming spending bill unless Kevin McCarthy moved ahead with the impeachment inquiry. Though that suggestion made them bristle.
All right, last question. Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask, what actual evidence do you have as opposed to allegations to show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden and prove that today isn't just about some of you having successfully bullied Speaker McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge?
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. That's what we have. If you can't see that, if you are that blunt, look, I'll turn it up.
Well, a lot of the American people can't see that. They think it's political revenge.
Because you don't report on it.
We're here reporting on it today with respect.
I'm not sure how you know what the American people think. It is very simple for someone just to insist there's an absence of evidence. But if you can look in the face of that and contend that, that's, anyone has a right to their opinion. What they can't do is change the facts.
But the facts show that not every Republican is convinced there's enough evidence to impeach President Biden, as much as people like Congresswoman Lauren Boebert want them to be. When are we going to see some actual evidence as opposed to allegations?
We've produced lots of evidence out of the House Oversight Committee. So how about you go through and look at what we've done, look at the hearings that we've had, and
isn't it true that Speaker McCarthy can't get the votes right now?
How about you look
That's why he hasn't gone for a vote. That's why he's gone for it the way he's gone for it today.
Well, let's force the vote then.
Aren't you using the spending bill, though, as a way to threaten McCarthy to launch this impeachment investigation, which is really political revenge for the impeachment?
Chew gum and walk at the same time. Have a great day.
Is that not true, though? Is that not true, Congresswoman? So what happens next? Well, the House committees will conduct an investigation to decide if there's enough evidence to draw up so-called articles of impeachment. Then, if a simple majority in the Republican-controlled House voted for President Biden to be impeached, the next stage would be in the democratically controlled Senate, where a trial would be held. And if 2/3 of senators, acting as the jury, found the president guilty, he'd be removed from office, and then his Vice President Kamala Harris would take over. There is some evidence that Joe Biden has made inconsistent statements about his son Hunter's business dealings. In the run-up to the 2020 election, he stated that Hunter had never earned any money from China. But Hunter later revealed under oath in court that he had. And Joe Biden's campaign said that Biden hadn't met one of Hunter's key Ukrainian business contacts. But it turns out that Joe Biden was a guest at a dinner for that contact. So it's possible that more evidence could emerge that could implicate the president further still. The Democrats insist there isn't.
There is not a shred of evidence that President Joe Biden has committed an impeachable offense. There is not a shred of evidence that President Joe Biden has committed a crime.
Whatever happens, the Republicans in Congress have in some way already achieved what they set out to do. To muddy the waters and sow the seeds of doubt in voters' minds about Joe Biden, as recent polling shows a majority of Americans do think the president had some involvement in his son's business dealings. Couple that with widespread concerns over Biden's age, and maybe those crucial swing voters might be convinced to support a Republican president next time around.